Good morning, friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. Let's have a little fun. Eventually, after we cover today, record heat, and tomorrow's record heat, and a pretty strong storm system for Halloween, then we'll look out in the future. We'll have some fun. We'll go out 45 days to about December 12th and see what we can find there. You know what? I noticed I'm getting a little lean on the tropical Hawaiian shirts, so I might have to talk to my wife and say, hey, we're going to have to make a run to Hawaii if this weather keeps up. Get some new shirts. All right, so we did have some thunderstorms overnight in places. If you thought maybe you heard a clanging or something on the roof or whatever, it probably was a clap of thunder. Even parts of the thumb got a ½ inch to an inch in quick dousings of thunderstorms. That's all done now. So now we head to the record heat part of the day. And it looks like most every large climate site in Michigan, you know, that's all the big cities, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Saginaw, Flint, Grand Rapids, all the big cities should set a record high temperature today, and it also looks like that way for tomorrow. Good morning to Bruce Lundy and Carmelita Tiffany. Good morning. Thanks for watching. Trevor Manuel. Good morning. Okay, so the next focus will be this storm system out in the western part of the country. See all the clouds and kind of the brightening clouds of Colorado, Wyoming. That's a snowstorm out there and thunderstorms. We'll be on the warm side of the storm, most of us. Not so much for the UP, eventually where you get some snow, but for lower Michigan, we're on the warm side of the storm. So now we go into the day-to-day surface weather. Try to find some rain and see if there's any colder temperatures out there too. So we start off today. And this is this afternoon. It's a strong southwesterly wind. About the warmest kind of pattern you could get overnight the same. This is tomorrow midday. About the warmest kind of pattern that you could get at this time of the year. Strong southwesterly winds. Then the storm pulls out of the Rockies. And this is Halloween morning into early afternoon, morning 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Halloween. That's a cold front coming across lower Michigan with warmth ahead of it, so we could have thunderstorms. I'm curious as to maybe we could have isolated severe thunderstorms. So keep an eye on that. Oftentimes the Storm Prediction Center does not handle that kind of thing in Michigan real well because it's not a classic Southern Plains type severe weather situation. So that is, we'll call it midday Halloween. Now this is by 8 o'clock in the evening. The cold front down into the Detroit area. Much cooler weather coming in based on the fact that we're in the low 70s in the morning and early afternoon, probably dropping to the low 50s in a lot of lower Michigan. So nothing that's cold for this time of the year, but a big switch from what we've had. And that, by the way, is snow, several inches in the western part of the UP. By Friday morning, it's all swept to the southeast. We better call it colder air just because of the change in temperature has dropped in for Friday. Not really that cold. Highs in the 50s, that's about normal. Saturday looks like a fantastic sunny day. Slowly warming. Sunday slowly warming. And then next week we get into some rains, a few of them out of the southwest. So we could have a rain on Monday or Tuesday with the first batch. We could have some showers around on Tuesday. Then this is Wednesday. We could have another storm system come through. And that certainly would be much, much welcomed rainfall. Temperatures today, near 80 degrees from Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, Flint, Lansing, Ann Arbor, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, northern half of the state, Traverse City, you're going to be probably 75 at least. And we're going to get to 45 days out into mid-December here in just a second, so just hang tight with me. We're almost there. Good morning, Brad Tobias. Good morning, Lucy Morrison. Good morning, Patricia Byrne and Michelle Culliver. Good morning. Tomorrow, about 80 again. Saginaw, Bay City, Flint, Owasso, Lansing, Ann Arbor, Detroit. So 2 days near 80. Traverse City, 76 tomorrow. UP in the 70s. Halloween, this is probably a morning or early afternoon high temperature in the low 70s. So still very warm, still 20 degrees warmer than normal. Friday, high around 50, maybe some 40s in the north. It's about normal. Saturday, back to the mid to upper 50s. Sunday, back to the low 60s. Next Monday, back well into the 60s. Hey, Vicky Ball having some fun in North Branch at a campground. Awesome. Keep that camper out there for a week or so. So now we're going to look at the total rainfall expected the next 16 days off of the European in the ensemble mode. 31 different tweaks averaged together. Good stable way to look at it. So we go through the Halloween storm. And yeah, Traverse City and points northward could have 1 to 2 inches of rain. Lighter amounts in the southern part of the state. Just a little tease at being meaningful. But then as we get into next week, we go through several rains. And by 16 days out, looking at a total of 2 to 4 inches of rain across all of Michigan. Heavier north and west, lighter south and east. But we'll take 2 inches in the next 16 days. That'll help. It'll help put a dent in the dry weather and the severe drought. All right, now let's have some fun. Let's look out quite a ways. We're going to look at the European model again because it's pretty good. Now, as we get farther out, admittedly, models get, less accurate, but we just look at the trend. So is there any flip-flop? Is there any change? We're really warm. Does it just totally do a reverse and we go to cold? So that's what we're going to be looking at here. We're going to look at the upper airflow first off, and you'll see the heat kind of eases back as we get into mid-November. And then we're going to look at the surface temperature anomaly into mid-December. Yeah, December. I'm going to take off 45 days, just mess around. How's that sound? So what does an upper atmosphere look like when it's record heat? This is what the current atmosphere looks like. And you see the dark reds. That's signifying that the atmosphere is warm and expanded much more than normal. So use that as a guide as we go into November. So next week we have another warm spell coming back. This is Sunday, Monday. This is Tuesday, November 5th. And then as we get to the end of next week, the heat probably easing back. We're at November 9th, November 11th, Veterans Day, November 13th there. And what does it say? It says we go to a more west-east flow, a cooler flow, but not cold by any stretch of the imagination. So here it is. Let's look out into December. This is the surface temperature anomaly, a 5-day average. And just pay attention to whether we stay red or we go to blue. So we are out to November 12th, 13th. Let's take it to around Thanksgiving. The model still forecasts warmer than normal temperatures hanging in there, although not as warm. December 3rd, any blue, any flip-flop? December 12th, any winter? Nope. And again, this is just a general guide. It doesn't necessarily mean that, we won't have any snow in December, early December. We won't have any cold temperatures. That's a 5-day average, and it's averaging maybe 5 degrees warmer than normal. So as we get into December and our normal highs are in the 30s, that means we could have highs in the 40s some days in a 5-day period. But it also shows that we wouldn't go and flip-flop and turn extremely cold for this time of the year. There you have it. And then you have to start wondering, how long will it take for winter to show up? 50% of you love that idea. 50% of you hate that idea. I stay right in the middle. I go with whatever Mother Nature and Old Man Winter bring. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.